Hey, hey, how's everybody doing today? Well, it's Tuesday, it's almost lunchtime, so what would be better for us to discuss at lunchtime than bacteria, gut health, bacteria. So while you're sitting there and eating your fabulous food that's feeding something in your body, it's either feeding good or bad, or you're getting ready to go eat, let's talk a little bit about what that gut bacteria might be doing. So if this represents your digestive tract, your intestines, well, I could just pull through this for a little bit, and we're going to talk about about 30 feet total from the start at your mouth to the end where, yeah, that's not your mouth. But there's about 30 feet of this stuff. And this is just representing your intestines. And what would I want to talk about your intestines for? Because part of my health coaching class this week, everything that we're learning is about digestion and gut health and probiotics. And there we go. So if I were to stretch out all of that I just pulled through, we say, okay, this is going to represent your digestive tract, your intestines. Why is it important for us to talk about it today? Hey, good morning, Joyce. I'm glad you're here. So if you have any questions, I might be able to answer them, but I'm just going to share what I've been doing with my class so far. So I'm trying to find a good piece of this so that we can see. All right, so let's say that this is going to represent your intestine, your digestive tract. And all of these little holes, there actually should be some holes, really small though, so it's a tight junction between all of the cells so that the only thing that's going to go through is nutrition, right? So you take something in, you start chewing it, and while you're chewing it, digestive, the juices are starting to flow, and you have bacteria. As a matter of fact, in your body, you've got between 2 and 6 pounds. 2 and 6 pounds of bacteria, living organisms and viruses that are inside your bacteria, inside your gut, okay? So what are they supposed to do? Why do we have all of those things? They are going to do things for you that your body can't do. So number one, some of the bacteria that are going to be inside your intestines, some of that bacteria is actually creating vitamins inside your body that you don't create, okay? So they're really necessary. Some of them are helping break apart the food that is coming into your system. So right when you start inside your mouth, you've got all these bacteria that immediately start sending signals to your body saying, hey, we've got some nutrition coming in, get ready. So it's preparing. As a matter of fact, when you first look at food, the signals are happening. It starts in your brain, it's in your mouth. So those bacteria are already going to work. Imagine a factory that takes care of a whole organization. It's not going to be one type of worker, and you don't have just one type of bacteria. So many different strains. As a matter of fact, there's over 1,000 different strains of bacteria or species that we have, but they're different as you go in through your digestive system. So your mouth is going to start with digestion, and then you're going to swallow that down. It's going into your stomach. Here's something just kind of side note, not about the bacteria, because I used to be on omeprazole. Hey, Kimberly. So I used to be on their proton inhibitors, the PPIs, proton pump inhibitors. I knew I would get it right. Okay, so what is that for? We get acid reflux, we get GERD, we get heartburn. And so the doctor says, oh yeah, you make a little too much acid, so here, take this before you eat, or take this every day. That's horrible. Guess what it's actually doing? It's slowing down the process of your digestion. It's saying, don't make all of the stomach acid, don't release the bile from your gallbladder, so your gallbladder gets backed up, and then you end up with gallstones. Ooh, that's a hot mess. But let's talk about what happens when you're not producing enough stomach acid. Your stomach acid is supposed to be like battery acid. Apparently it's supposed to be that if it were to be out of your stomach and you put it on your hand, it would burn your skin. It should be really acidic because we want to break down that food like in battery acid, in stomach acid. When you take that PPI, it levels that off. We take that Prevacid or whatever, and it makes our stomach acid more like vinegar. It's really not helping much at all. So whatever doesn't get broken down somehow gets down into your small intestine. Well, your small intestine is where all of your nutrients are supposed to be absorbed. Well, if it's too big, it's not going to absorb anything from that, and so it continues down into your colon. Now it's way too big down there. You know what happens when big food particles get into the colon? The only bacteria that can eat it are the ones that pretty much produce gas. So you might end up with some bloating and some gas. And here's the thing, ladies. Gentlemen don't seem to really care. They got the gas, they're going to let it go, and they come home fine. The ladies, though, we're all out there trying to be prim and proper. We're holding on to it. We get back and we're getting home and going, oh my gosh, I'm like 4 or 5 months pregnant because you've been holding on to it. So you're either going to have to fix the problem or start letting it rip, right? So here's our intestine. When we have proteins that get through the digestive process and our body doesn't like it, how do we know that? It's the bacteria. So the bacteria, they're making vitamins that we don't make. They're helping with digestion, and now they're communicating with our immune system. At least 65% of your immune system is inside your intestines, in your gut, not somewhere else. So you have these proteins, they come into your intestine that's supposed to be nice and closed, but yet we eat something that the body doesn't like, and it creates these little holes. So we might call this something leaky gut. And so some of the protein is going to go through these holes, okay? Once that happens, the body does not recognize it as something good. And so those bacteria are going, hey, immune system, something's wrong with this. We need to take care of it. The immune system gets on high alert, comes in and attacks those proteins. Maybe it's lactose. Maybe it's from milk. Maybe it's from the bread that you're eating, or maybe it's a gluten protein. Maybe it's something that you've breathed in. Because remember, everything that is on the outside of the world, we think we're protected. No, it goes in and is now interacting with our body. In our immune system, our bacteria are telling our immune system, communicating, that's bad, that's good. Well, if a food particle goes out through the barrier of this little one cell thick wall, if that food goes through there, or that, if it's pollen, if it's something from in our environment gets through, it tells our body that we need to attack it. So that's what's happening. And you get this to go through, and now you're sick. You're tired. You have brain fog. You have toenail fungus. You have aches and pains. You have joint pain. You have swelling. You have all kinds of myalgias. Put the first part in front of it. You've got trouble sleeping. You've got trouble eating. Your digestion is off. You're not going to the bathroom twice a day. If you're not pooping once to twice a day fully, then you are just reabsorbing toxins, okay? So what am I going to share with you about that then? You've got 30 feet. If you're not taking care of it really well, then you are going to eventually, whether it's today or tomorrow or the next day or next year or 10 years from now, you will end up with some kind of a reaction, a response. Some people say, oh, you're just aging. But in reality, it's not that. In reality, you're just reacting to something that your gut is no longer able to handle. So what do? Well, what did I do? I started taking a probiotic that it removes the bad, so it has a digestive enzyme to break down the bad bacteria that's become overgrown. You know, it seems like the bacteria that lasts the longest and is the most popular in your system feeds on sugar and glucose. So if you take in carbs, sugars, simple sugars, processed foods, any of that, you're feeding the worst that you could be feeding, and that seems to take over. You're not feeding all of the other things. So I take a probiotic. And then the probiotic that I take, it has digestive enzymes, so it's going to help break down the bad. And I can talk about biofilm. Maybe that's tomorrow, but I'll talk about biofilm. This is going to help to break that apart. And then it's going to have an antifungal, grapeseed extract, that's going to go in and kill off any of the bad bacteria, the funguses, the yeast, the overgrowth stuff. And then it has good strains of bacteria. And the good strains that we want are the ones that support digestion, support immune function, just support an overall well-being, things that are missing. So that's the kind of probiotic that I take, and I suggest that everybody get on one. You can go to the store and you can look for the probiotics on the shelves, but I hope you know what you're looking for, which kind. This one replaces 3 things: digestive enzymes, antifungal, and probiotics. You're not going to have to go buy 3 things. So Joyce, you know that I have something that's going to help you suffering from digestive issues. And guess what? If it's a digestive issue that you're suffering from, I guarantee it is affecting you in so many other areas, because a digestive issue means you're not getting the right nutrients being absorbed in. It's being broken down or not broken down enough and going out into your system, or it's just kind of clogging things up and bringing back in the toxins. And so it's just a vicious cycle. So we definitely need to talk about how we can get you feeling better. But the ProBio 5, if you are not working with somebody who is an ambassador for Plexus, by all means contact me. Let's talk about getting your digestion better. And for people going, well, is it expensive? You know what? If I said, I don't know, with tax and shipping and everything, if it's $34, $35 a month, if you were to let go of, one Starbucks every week, or if you were to just change some of your eating habits, and I can talk to you about that doesn't even have to do with Plexus products. We can talk about food changing, but this is going to be your best friend. I'm telling you, I won't be without it. The other products I absolutely love, but this one, and since my health coaching, these classes that are talking so much about how we can help against autoimmune issues and just health issues, this is going to be the best friend that you could possibly find. And you're not going to get the same benefit from one that's on the shelf at the store. If you're already on a probiotic and you still have any of those issues, digestive issues, brain fog, it could be migraines, if you have health issues and you're on a probiotic, chances are yours is really not working. And it might be time to give something else a shot, okay? It's not worth, you might say, oh, but I just bought this huge thing and it cost me all this money. Well, if it's not working, you're just wasting time and wasting, in your body, you're really not getting any benefits. So I hope that this was beneficial. You guys have a great Tuesday and go feed your bacteria. Bye-bye.